Hi, everybody. We're doing something new here at the Journey Church. Me and Brent, our teaching pastor, are doing what we almost want to call prime the pump. Maybe that's what we're going to call this. But what we'd like to do is every week just do a little bit of a forecast for a few minutes about what our upcoming message is. Now, Brent, we started here in January with a sort of an overall focus for this ministry year of 2022 called Lead Me, Lord. And we've already gone through three different chapters of preaching.
That's right.
The first chapter was about, what was it? God's guidance,
God's
right?
guidance. Yes, that's right. And the second
Yeah.
one, we jumped right into the whole book of Ephesians. That one actually took a little while to get through.
Yeah, almost 2 months,
That's
really.
right. Yeah.
And then we then got ready for Easter, and we did a series called Love to Tell the Story, where we looked at all the different big moments in the last week of Jesus' life.
That's right.
And now here we are, starting in May, and we're going to do this series in the months of May and June, and we're calling it
Yeah, the extraordinary ordinary.
And what we're doing is we're going to be looking at what we call all the ordinary things of life that we all travel through, everything from birth to eating to family to courtship to sleeping to all these.
You think of something ordinary, and we'll probably
cover it. And we want to give credit here. We are allowing an author, a Christian scholar, an author by the name of Paul Stevens. There it is. There's the book, and his book is called Down to Earth Spirituality. And we are certainly using him as one of our mentors to speak into us as we kind of explore these things. Now, Brent, you're more of an Old Testament guy than me. At least a little bit more, I hope. I think you are. But the idea,
I don't know if you're saying that as an insult or as a compliment.
No, I say it as a compliment.
I'll just keep a straight face as you
keep a straight face on this.
What does that mean? What do you mean by that?
But what I mean by that is we're using an Old Testament character by the name of Jacob.
That's right.
As helping us understand all these ordinary things in the context of faith, right?
Exactly.
One of the things I appreciate actually that Paul Stevens says in his book about Jacob is that Jacob is a flawed character. He's someone who's not pristine.
Yes.
There's imperfections, there's struggles, there's ups and downs in his whole journey through life.
And you know what, Dave? As soon as you say that, all of a sudden now he becomes someone we all can relate to. Because I don't think there'll be anybody, at least watching this, that can't say of themselves even, right, that we're all flawed. We all have our problem spots. And when we look at Jacob, what we can see in him is something that often will sort of connect with us in some way.
And what gives me hope is even in the midst of his flawedness and brokenness that he deals with, God still works through his life and in his life.
Absolutely.
And I think that's just a word of hope for us all.
It truly is, absolutely.
So Brent, I'm going to let you do the initial teaser here. So here we are. We're coming up to our very first message of this extraordinary, ordinary series. And we're going to look at...
Well, we're going to look at this. Probably the most common thing in life is eating, other than breathing, I suppose. But yeah, eating. And we're going to look at this role that food plays in our lives to, on the one hand, drag us down, like we see in the story of Jacob and Esau, where food is right at the center of everything going off the rails in that relationship and in that family. And we're just going to look at that as how food can be something which, sends us in the wrong direction or puts our focus in the wrong things. Looking at it as an appetite, a bodily appetite that sometimes can send us down wrong paths. And the warning that the Bible gives us about allowing our appetites to become too much. I mean, that warning ultimately starts in Genesis, right? Where the original couple eats the fruit of the tree that was forbidden. It seems food's always in there trying to mess us up a little bit. But
I always think, Brent, that this whole idea of eating again, is such a metaphor for our appetites. Where are we totally driven by appetites, and again, the challenge for us, and I think Esau's story and Jacob's story is that it's a warning. Are you going to be driven by your appetites?
Absolutely. And so therefore, appetite can mean many things,
Yeah.
right? So food, yes, absolutely, literally. But sexual temptation, the need to please others and get acclaim from others, all of those things which can, I guess, take God's place in our lives and our focus, have that same power over us, that desire that lives within us for something. So yeah, thinking of it in terms of appetite, but yet something very practical, like food.
Well,
I mean, that's something we engage in every single day. So.
Well, and I think in this message, what we want to really help people walk through is, in a sense, to help challenge us about where we're allowing our appetites to become the ultimate things in our life.
That's right.
Instead of just enjoying them as good things. But then, on the other hand, what I'm really excited about sharing is us talking about how, we think about how eating can really help us move closer to God and help us to actually see how life can be filled with purpose and meaning. And eating actually becomes a place where a lot of that sort of deeper meaning to life can be discovered and enjoyed.
Absolutely. There's one quote that I shouldn't say quote. There's one statement that Stevens makes in his book about how our whole society is geared around sort of fast food and get it together really quick. A 50-second serving window at a fast food joint, and then you generally eat it up in your car as you're driving to the next thing. And how food has just become a feeding as opposed to an opportunity to grow spiritually and connect with God and others. So yeah, the Bible tells us to think about food differently, that's for sure, and to think about eating differently than what our culture is telling us these days.
Yeah. So actually, I'm really hoping that after this message on this time we talk about eating, people are going to want to rush back to their tables and just experience it in a wonderful and new way.
Absolutely. That is our hope and our prayer.
Absolutely. So again, this was our Prime the Pump time for you, and I hope that you enjoyed this and hope that you'll check out our message this coming Sunday.
See you then.
See you then. I'll get rid of this. Okay.
I'm recording.
All right.
Not that I know what we're going to say. Maybe this one we should just talk about that we're doing a new series. Have you talked about that at all yet? Have you introduced it? Exactly.
Okay, so that's
a rough run through, Dave.
Whatever you have for a marker on your little marquee thing.
Recording in progress. Hey, Pastor Dave, welcome to the new podcast.
Well, we don't even have a name for it. Now
we want to prime the pump. We want to get your brains and your spirit in sync with what we're going to be talking about this weekend. Yeah.
Prime the pump.